Good Thursday to all. Joining me today is Greg Saponis, trading analyst over at FMX Connect. Greg, thank you so much for being with me today.
It's nice to see you, Daniela.
Greg, let's start off with one of the leading headlines, Greece getting a new prime minister. What impact is this having on the markets?
Yeah, the market is very excited to have any stability out of Europe right now. This has been in the work for a couple of days now, and today, officially, Lucas Papademos was sworn in as the prime minister of Greece. And this guy has some credentials, even though he hasn't been in political office before. He has a background in economics. I think he was involved in setting up an Olympics bid committee before. And he's really been working hard to wrangle out concessions from the other political leaders in Greece to enable him to get the job done the first 6 months. For example, one of the things he asked for was the ability to pick a new finance minister right off the bat so he didn't have any bad chemistry to worry about.
So, Greg, what impact is this having on the gold prices?
You know, the news actually had more of an impact on equities, which were really both in Europe and the US nervous towards the end of yesterday's session. Gold prices this morning are actually down. They were not as responsive to the news. This is because mostly that the metals have been a little bit overbought in general. And so they are just not as responsive to good news. And there's also been a lot of liquidation that has just been kind of holding the market down a little bit.
So, Greg, we have two charts to look at today. The first one on gold. What should we be paying attention to on the technical side?
We actually started to see a little bit of the consolidation in gold that we were talking about on the chart I had sent you. And what you can see from that is that there's a near-term consolidation pattern in gold. On the chart, you can see that gold has really struggled to hold any gains over 1,800 the last week. And last night in overnight trading, it actually traded down to 1755. So what we are seeing from this is that gold is going to look to extend this pullback back to the 1711 area where it sees some more support. And we don't think it's too likely to go down much farther from there. But if it does, there's lots of different levels of support all the way to 1600, which is just a really major support area. And we would expect to see a lot of long-term buyers enter there if it does go down there again.
Greg, I always like to break down terms for our viewers. When you speak of a near-term consolidation pattern, can you explain that a bit?
Sure. A near-term consolidation pattern just means that we're expecting a pullback, but we might not expect it to last that long. So we might expect it to last 3 days. It might last a week, but we wouldn't expect this pullback to, extend for a month. Actually, I have the chart that I sent you in front of me now, and I will comment on it a little further. I mentioned to you that the market was looking overbought, and one of the classic indicators a technical analyst will look at when they talk about overbought and oversold markets is the stochastic indicator. Now, I've populated the stochastic indicator of the graph you're going to show the viewers with some circles of crossover areas. And what you can see is every area that is crossed, you see that the 3-day volatility is falling below the longer 14-day volatility. And I know it sounds very technical, but it just means that there's a strong chance of a follow-through in the other direction. So in the areas where I've circled on the stochastic graph, you can see big moves in the metal. I've circled 3 tops, and then actually the start of a rally back near 1620, which has lasted all the way to where we are now. And now we're just kind of going to expect it to pull back a little bit in the opposite direction.
All right, Greg, let's move on over to silver now. Let's look at what's happening technically there.
Oh, yeah. I sent you a silver chart as well. And what I wanted to show was that even though silver and platinum are trailing gold, that the metals are functioning a little bit differently right now, mostly because gold is viewed by the world as a currency, while silver and platinum are viewed as pure industrial metals. We expect that silver and platinum will also be trailing gold downward as well, and we expect the the technical formation there is actually a little more bearish. In silver, for example, yesterday we had a high just below Tuesday's high, and then we finished the day much lower. So this is kind of a classic reversal setup, and we expect that it might look to extend the sell-off to $32, maybe $31 before more buying comes in.
So overall, short-term corrections are to be expected.
Yes.
All right, Greg, wrap it up. Final thoughts for investors.
These markets are very volatile and choppy, so it's really important that investors spend a lot of time getting the right setups that they're happy with and that they're confident with. If investors are confident and hold to their setups, they have a much higher chance of making money. Otherwise, if they get nervous of the choppiness, and that a lot of market participants are afraid of holding positions for a longer period of time, they're putting themselves in a position where it's going to be harder to succeed. Right now with metal buyers, you definitely want to be careful not to wait too long to get back in, because with the recent pullbacks we've had in gold in particular, you don't want to miss the bounce because it's back rallying before you could get in.
All right, Greg, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Danielle. Have a great day.
And thank you for watching Kitco News. You can email me at newsfeedback@kitco.com. For Kitco News, I'm Daniela Cambone.